Hey, everybody. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Yeah. Well, hello anyway, Brian. How are you? Can you hear us? Okay. So it's nice to see a few of you. My name is Jim Needham. I'm your math instructor this summer for Math 1630 Finite Math. I didn't want to do anything fancy today. I just wanted to give you guys kind of an opportunity to ask questions, maybe kind of show you some of how this thing works and all that stuff. Didn't really have a set agenda, just got a list of things I kind of want to cover. But before I do that, are there any questions about anything at all?
What is finite math? Because I don't even know what this math course is.
Finite math is kind of it's a good question. It is I think the word finite comes from the fact that it is not kind of like calculus based. Calculus kind of really relies on what are called limits and the fact that numbers kind of get arbitrarily close to one another and some properties of the real number system that we don't worry about at all. So finite math is kind of a hodgepodge of topics. Most of the students in a finite math course, not all of them, but most kind of come from either a business orientation, and I have a lot of people from like a computer science associate's degree or something like that.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. So like I said, it's kind of a what they call a buffet course. It's a little bit of this, that, and the next thing. We start out doing some stuff with first thing you're going to learn is number bases, which is kind of for the computer people, and then we do some linear functions and stuff you may have seen before in your life with slopes and stuff like that. And then we do what do we do? Then we do systems of equations, which is kind of more probably for the business people. And then we have linear programming, which is kind of for the business people. And then we go back to sets and finish up with logic, which is kind of for the computer people. So it's kind of, we bounce back and forth all semester long. What else? So if you just joined us, I'm just taking questions on anything you want. So I got to give you all credit and my respect for basically signing up to take anything this summer. Don't know if this fall is going to look like this too. So I mean, I'll just start kind of talking, if you don't mind, get you out of here. So the way this course kind of works is it's our standard web-based course, which means I'm not really going to be in front of you all that much. I kind of have videos and readings and stuff like that I want you to do. The powers that be kind of made the decision that this is going to be what they call an asynchronous course. It means I'm not going to be up here in front of you all that much. Although, hang on, I'm going to make an effort. So you kind of read and learn on your own, and you come to me or email me or whatever when you have questions, and I do my best to answer them. Okay, as opposed to me like standing up in front of you and giving you just an hour lecture. So it's kind of like a flipped classroom type thing, if you've heard of that. 95 to 99% of your time in here is going to be spent in doing your homework and your quizzes and something called My Math Lab. So it's a third-party software from our books publisher. They don't just do math, they do business and psychology and everything now. So basically, I'm going to kind of get you an introduction to that website, how that works. I'm going to show you a website that you need to know kind of for our administrative side of things, where I'm going to post grades and post news items. So I have like an administrative website that's actually a Nashville State website that we call the course shell. Every course that you have at Nashville State kind of has a shell in this learning management system where I stick like useful stuff. Okay, I'll show you that in a minute. But the one where you're going to spend most of your time is going to be this My Math Lab. I believe that I sent out directions on how to get registered for that, and I think I sent you a copy of the course syllabus. Just Just ring a bell to anybody? Okay. So I sent this to like your, you actually have 2 email addresses at Nashville State, whether or not you know it. So one is kind of the default. I think it's called like my Nashville State. It's like an Outlook one. The other one I'll show you here in a second is kind of part of our learning management system that we call NS Online. Okay. Once you kind of all get settled into this, that's where I'm going to kind of do all of our communication. It's a self-contained system. It's all right if you want to email me. In the other one, that's fine. I'll read it and answer it. But it's just kind of a nice to keep this thing in a little administrative box that I'll show you in a second. Okay. The My Math Lab kind of replaces our book. So the good news is you don't have to go out and buy a book. The bad news is you have to go out and buy this access to this software. The software that I'm going to show you actually includes a online version of the textbook. So if you don't feel the need to have a hard copy, and most people don't anymore, you don't have to buy one. Okay. If you do want to buy one, you want to buy like the package, make sure you get the package that includes the My Math Lab access as well. Okay. So the only 2 things you really need for this course are the My Math Lab access, because you're going to take, you're going to be doing your homework in there, your quizzes in there, and this semester you're even going to be doing your tests in there. Okay. Oh, and the only other thing you need, do I have one here? Yes, is you need a decent calculator that's going to come in useful at some point. I have, you know, these TI-80 whatevers. Okay. Do not go out and buy one of these new if you don't already have one. You know, surely you have a cousin or a niece or a nephew or somebody who you can borrow one from, or, you know, worst case scenario is buy one secondhand somewhere, if that's possible at all anymore. Okay. But I'm going to be using like this TI-84, a TI-8384. In fact, now that I think about it, I mean, any decent calculator will get you through like 90% of this course. There is one thing, ooh, let me put this up here. If you want to go out and get like a different one, I want you to make sure that does one particular thing. I'm going to bring up a whiteboard so you can see this here in a second. So when life changed last semester and I went to teaching all my courses online, kind of an asynchronous, where I'm still kind of sitting in front of people, I kind of ended up doing this stuff on what's called Microsoft Whiteboard, and I shared my board, which seemed to work pretty well. So hang on, be back in a second. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Okay, so you're looking at a big old white page, I hope. Okay, so if you want to go out and buy your own calculator, you already have one. The one thing, whoops, hang on, that you want to make sure this calculator does is something called, and why is this doing that? Oh, there we go. Okay, there's something called the RREF command. Okay, and in fact, they actually sell calculators now saying, hey, this calculator does RREF. Okay, so let me just say, oh, maybe I can do this. My typing is more readable than my handwriting. Here we go. So make sure your calculator does this. Okay. And if you have one of these TI things, it will do it. Okay. So that comes in handy in chapter 2 when we were dealing with what are called systems of equations. It looks kind of intimidating when you first see the material you're going to be learning, but this calculator command really kind of makes short work out of the whole chapter. By the time we're done with chapter 2, most of my students are saying, can't the whole course be this way? Okay. Okay. So covered the calculator. So the way this thing works, and this is kind of in the syllabus if you read between the lines, is the entire semester has 4 tests plus 1 final exam that go along with it. Summer's only 10 weeks long, so it's like we're taking a test every other week. Okay. The homework, the quizzes, and like I said, even the tests are done in my math lab this semester. Okay. Usually we have the tests in what I would call a normal semester. We usually have the tests, good old-fashioned paper tests in class, but that ain't working this summer. And we don't have any proctoring, so it's all on the honor system. So everything you do this semester is going to be open book, open notes, close friends. Okay. Homework, quizzes you can basically do until you're blue in the face. Okay. Quizzes you can take as many times as you want, and we will keep your best score for each one. So for like each of these tests, there are what we call kind of the modules of the course. There are roughly 4 to 6 homework assignments for each one, and most of them have 2, and one of them has 3 quizzes, and then you'll take a test. Okay, so you do 4 to 6 homeworks, couple quizzes, and then a test. Homework and quizzes you can work on as much as you want. Tests are going to be 1 attempt, and they are 85 minutes, an hour and 25, I guess. Okay. Couple things about the tests is we have kind of the standard deal now where your lowest test can be replaced by your final exam score if your final exam score is higher than your lowest test. Okay. So effectively, we will drop one test score and replace it with your final exam, assuming, of course, that it actually helps. I wouldn't do that to you if it actually hurt. Okay. What else is I going to tell you? Oh, we also have a chance at up to 5 bonus points per test. So if you take the time to work on all of your homeworks until you get them up to 90% or better for each one, I will give you 3 free points on the test. I just do a +3 before I put them in the grade book. And for the quizzes, we do something similar, but we ask you to take each quiz until you get up to 80%. Like I said, you can take each one as many times as you want, no penalty. We keep the highest one. If you just take a quiz or take all the quizzes that correspond to a topic or to a test until you get to 80% or better, I will give you 2 free points on that test. So for each test, you have a potential for 5 bonus points, just +5 on that test. Okay. So if you have the time and the inclination, it is definitely something worth doing. Okay. All right, how are we doing? Questions on anything? All right, let me check my notes and see what else I want to make sure that I covered. Okay, so for attendance, before I actually mark you down as saying, hey, this person has actually shown up to this class and is working, there are 4 things I need from you, okay? So in NS Online, I will show you where this is in a second, but there's something called a student info quiz that I need you to take. That's the only thing you're really the only quiz or homework or anything that you're gonna do in NS Online. Everything else is in my math lab. This is like a little introduction. Yeah, I know how to do this, or, you know, so it takes you like 10 minutes. So that's one of 4 things. The other is I need you to post a little introduction about yourself in the discussion area, which I will show you. Share as much as you want, you know, doesn't have to be much. I need you to sign up for my math lab. I will show you that in a second too, but I already sent you directions. And last but not least is I need you to send me an email, and you can do this in NS Online. I'll show you again in a minute, that just says, yeah, I've read how the course works and I understand, I'm good to go. So those 4 things: student info quiz, introduction about yourself, my math lab sign up, and an email to me. All right, so let me show you about this thing, this NS Online I've been talking about. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. Oops. Okay, so now you should be looking at my web browser. In particular, you are looking at the Nashville State homepage. Okay. If you go up here where it says login, you have a few options here. Okay, so one place that you've already been, whether or not you know what they call it, is this My NSCC right here. That's where you actually sign up for classes and do administrative stuff, pay bills, parking tickets, stuff like that. Okay, so that's like your administrative account here. This next one, this NS Online, this is where you actually have like course content. This is our learning management system. It's the same A number and password that you use for everything else. Okay, they all sync up. So once you log in there, let me show you, let's see. You're gonna be at a home page that looks something like this. Okay, and you will have like a little picture for each course that you're signed up for here. Okay, maybe you only have one. I have a ton. All right, so you open that thing. Okay. And most of the good stuff in here is in one of two places. I will put stuff right on the front page in a news item. Okay, so I already have some stuff up here. I just posted a few minutes ago something called topic summary sheets. Okay. I'm not going to read that to you. You can read that on your own. But I'll put things either right on the front page as a news item. The other place that is worth checking out, well, there's a few others, but go ahead and poke around. One of your homework assignments is just getting here and poke around. You can't break nothing. Okay. I thought I hit that. Yeah, I am. So under the content section right here, we have all kinds of help and, you know, a soft copy of the syllabus, getting started. You know, the attendance requirements are summarized here. But once we get going, these 4 modules are where we have stuff related to the actual topics. Okay. So we have assignments that you need to work through. Some of the introduction and learning outcomes is going to bore you to death. But we do have stuff that I have mentioned in these summary sheets, worksheets, write-ups, all kinds of useful things to get you through this material. So poke around here in the content section, get in the habit of checking the news items regularly, and check your email. Because in here, you actually have another email account. Okay. And I have some stuff in there, so I don't want to show you what my email is. I don't think anything's very private though. But I will kind of, once we settle down this week, I will just use this one right here for email for contacting you guys. Okay. I'll email stuff and put things on the front page for a news item. Okay. All right, so I just mentioned that one thing I posted a few minutes ago is something I'll be doing the entire semester, and I don't know what to call these. I guess they're summary sheets. That works as well as any. Okay, so for each topic that we cover, I'm going to post one of these that I've written up over the past few weeks. And what they are just kind of to get you started. And of course, put it down here. Okay, so it's just a little introduction to the topic. Okay, so first thing when I told you we're going to be talking about it is number bases, how to convert from one base to another, and how to do arithmetic within a number base. So I have a few videos you might want to watch. You know, people learn differently. If you like videos, you might want to lean heavily on these. There are also some documents in the content region, okay, that we were just looking at. You can read those. I have like a really high level summary of the type of stuff that we're talking about. And at the end, I have a short list of things that you should know how to do before you kind of consider yourself as having kind of mastered this material. Okay. So that's the stuff I expect you to be able to do before you go in and take a test on it. Okay. The first, week and a half, I guess it is, 2 weeks maybe. The number-based material is the one topic in the entire semester that's not actually in our textbook. So that's why I actually went and kind of found some just good old-fashioned YouTube videos for you to watch on how to do some of this stuff. For the rest of the semester, I'm going to actually use stuff from our publisher because we've paid for it, so I'm going to use it if we can. But these are just, other content creators' videos that I found to be useful. We can supplement with, office hours and stuff like that. All right. Speaking of which, so I'm not going to sit here and lecture in front of you guys because that's not how they wanted the course to go this summer, but I will make myself available. So I think what I'm going to do is try to, like, Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday, I'm going to just take 2 hours and call them office hours where I sit here and you can come visit me on Zoom if you want to. Completely optional like today is. If you have questions, zoom in and ask me what it is. You're also welcome to email me questions. Okay. Still thinking about what those times will be, but I think I'm going to make them a little different every day because people have different schedules and I want everybody to have the opportunity to meet me if they want to. Okay. So right now I'm thinking like Mondays might be 9 to 11, Tuesdays 11 to 1, and so on. I'll post that today or tomorrow. What else did I want to show you? Oh, so still in NS Online. So let's get out of here and go back here. Okay. So one of the things I need you to do is under evaluation, just look for the quizzes. And this is the student info quiz. This is the only quiz you're going to do in NS Online. The others are in my math lab. Okay. So in here, you just find this. I think if you just click on it, it will actually open for you as an instructor. I'm not sure if it does something different to me. Okay. Yeah, so it's 8 questions, and this is just like administrative stuff. Yes, I've read the syllabus. I understand the rules and stuff like that. It should take you like 10 minutes. Okay, but that is one of the things I want you to do before I actually mark you down as having as attending the course. I will also keep your grades in here once we get that far. So one important thing about this course is that there are 4 tests plus a final exam. The only hardcore deadlines are those for the tests. Okay, and I can actually find them here. So theoretically, you could do all of the homework and the quizzes that go with test 1 the night the test 1 is due. I really don't want you to do it that way because it's a terrible way of learning anything. But the only 4 deadlines are the deadlines that go along with the tests. So all of the, the first module homework and the 2 first module tests, they are all due at the same time that first test is. So where is it? I think it's syllabus information, course outline and due dates. I also have a weekly schedule if you're organized enough that you really want to stay on task, you can do that. So our 4 deadlines are here. There are other places you can find these, and I'll show them to you in a second when we get to my math lab. Okay, but right now, all of the module 1 homework, first 2 quizzes, and test 1 all due June 12th, 2020. Okay, so June 12th is our first deadline. Nothing is due until then. Okay. Don't wait till June 11th to start doing your homework and quizzes, but theoretically you can. Okay, so we have 4 of those, and then we have a final exam. Those are the deadlines right there. Okay. All right, so the other place you're going to look eventually, so content, news items, as the tests are due, that's the only time I actually get in there and calculate homework and quiz grades. So after every test is due, I will export that information out of my math lab, do the calculations, and down here under evaluation and grades, you will see that stuff. Okay, so you're going to have a homework and a quiz grade and a test grade for each of 4 modules, and then a final exam. Right now, under the grades, and I don't want to open them because you would see everybody else's stuff right here, I'm also keeping the 4 attendance requirements, and as you knock them out, I change them all from like none to pass. So once you have 4 passes in the attendance requirements, you are good to go as far as attendance goes. They don't count in the grade, but they count for me to put you down as attending class. Okay, what else? So let me show you my math lab. So there's a link here to that as well, but I think I already have that loaded up. Let's see what happens. You can go directly to mymathlab.com and it'll bring you here. Okay. All right. So I'm already registered, so this looks a little different. And I'm not going to hit all the details because it's on the sheet that I sent out. But you basically go here, you say, I want to register now as a student. If you've already been in one of these Pearson things for a different class, even if it's like econ or something like that, you can use the same account. They're going to charge you for the access to the text to the class, but you can use the same account. So you need an email. It's like signing up for anything else. You don't have to use your Nashville State email address. You can use whatever you want. Your instructor's course ID, that is on one of those sheets that I gave you. in that My Math Lab registration stuff. Let me see it here. Instructions, My Math Lab. Okay, so this right here, next to course ID, is the course ID. My last name, 5 digits after it. That right there is kind of what ties you in to our class. So when you go to register, whoops, I went too far. Okay, you can say, okay, register now. And I think the first thing they ask for is that course ID. My internet's slow. I think I have like 3 people Zooming in this house right now. I should have copied it while I was there. Let's see. Yeah, so copy. That's us. And it's going to say over on the right, okay, that's the course you're signing up for. So that should say that for everybody. Okay. And on the left, it'll say, all right, if you already have a My Math Lab account or Pearson account, I guess is more accurate, go ahead and sign in. If not, you can go ahead and create one. Okay. Here, well, let's see what happens. Yeah. So here's where they're going to ask you for the money. Okay. If you're not sure you want to take this course or you're not going to stick it out, or you don't have the money right now, you can sneak down here and say, get temporary access without payment for 14 days. So you get 2 weeks of free access, so there's no reason you can't go and get going today, okay? If you've already purchased an access code from a bookstore or something like that, you would just click the I already have the access code button, or you can buy it from these folks right here. As far as the access codes go, I'm not sure what the cheapest place. I mean, you can get them like off of Amazon and eBay, but I'd be real careful about that, because if you buy one secondhand and it turns out that somebody's used it, you are out of luck. Okay, so I would definitely buy a new one. I don't know how cheap you can get them on Amazon. I don't think they're going to go a whole lot cheaper than they are from Pearson. But okay, so anyway, once you get signed up, and again, you get 2 free weeks. You know, if you don't want to pay or can't pay right now, you can say, give me temporary access. And let's see, go away. Okay, so let me show you what it's going to look like. Oops, too far. So once you get signed up, when you log in, there you go. Okay. This is another place where I hope you don't have as many courses as I do. I got all kinds of stuff. This is our course here. Okay, might be the only one you have. Okay, you're going to learn to either love or hate this website because you're going to spend a lot of time here. So when you open this course, it's going to bring you to this little dashboard that don't do anything too fancy with. But I think when it loads, that it shows you like the next deadline. Okay, so if you look down here, like under the grade book and all that stuff, you'll see, you know, the next due date here is June 12th. As I promised before. Down here, it kind of tells you what you got coming up. So this My Math Lab orientation quiz, that's actually optional. If you've never done one of these My Math Labs or whatever before, you should probably do it. It's another thing. It takes you like 10 or 15 minutes. It basically just gets you used to kind of using the tools that you're going to be using in your homework and stuff. It's optional, but you should do it if you haven't done something like this before.
All you gotta do is get off of it.
Okay. And you are going to spend most of your time, oops, not in the assignment manager, sorry, but in, where'd it go? Well, I'll show you the assignment manager. So this is kind of a semester's worth of course right here, okay? So the orientation quiz is actually optional. Do it. You have, oops, where's the, oh, sorry, I'm looking at it. Show all, there we go. Okay. You also have, let's see, prepare for. So you have these prepare for modules in here. It's a long story, but these are also optional, as you can tell by the word optional. Those kind of have some prerequisite material in them. If you find yourself maybe getting a little behind and you want to, or you feel a little overwhelmed by the material, you can go back and kind of see some of the prereq stuff. Use them as you want to. Again, they're optional, not required. These media assignments correspond to the videos basically that I put in those summary assignments, those summary worksheets, okay? So for example, you know, I want you to go through and look at these, but if you're already confident, you don't have to do much. I think if you just open it, it says, yeah, this person's done, okay? So I guess these might actually be a little different than the ones I had, but however you learn, it's fine with me. So no, this is a cheater. So this says, yeah, go through and read the stuff that I put in the content in NS Online, okay? Then you have to actually click a button to get on with your life, okay? So you'll see here there are, you know, a couple really preparatory things, some videos, number-based conversions. This is like your first real homework. Okay. And in the homework, okay. All right, so I have an example there of a problem I want you to do that is basically nothing to do with number conversions, number-based conversions, for the following reason. Because number bases, this first topic is not in our textbook, I have to go borrow some problems from other textbooks to put them in this homework. And I can only borrow so many unless I actually plugged in a problem from our textbook. So I just kind of grabbed like a review problem, adding a positive number and a negative number, okay, and off you go, okay. So this is stuff you're going to learn how to do by watching those videos and kind of reading the worksheets and the write-ups that I gave you. Notice here that these questions all have some question help. So a lot of my students, I can tell you from experience, don't do much with the videos or the readings. They just kind of get in here and say, show me an example of how to do this or help me solve this, and they just jump in and start learning this way. Okay, whatever works for you. If you like the videos, use the videos. If you like the worksheets I have, use the worksheets. If you just want to jump into the homework and use these help functions to learn it, that's fine as well. Okay, so on the homework, you'll have all these things to help you out if you want. The quizzes, you don't. Okay, so the quizzes and the tests, those things are not there. So I want you to take your time on the homework until you get this stuff down. Okay, once you feel comfortable with it, take the quiz as many times as you want, but what I would do is probably get to where I could do things more or less without the book or the notes in front of me. So this semester, our tests are open book and open notes, but if you kind of are relying on all that stuff to get through a test, you might find a little pressed as far as time goes, okay? So don't let notes in a textbook kind of replace understanding the material. So use your quizzes to make sure that you actually can do this stuff without much help. And that will be a good, much better preparation for tests than just kind of relying on the help functions constantly. It's okay with the homework, but make sure that you can do it without any help by the time you're done with the quizzes. Okay. So stuff here you don't have to worry about, but you'll see, so we have like two number bases. So we have a number-based conversions homework, video stuff, number-based arithmetic. So you're going to learn how to do addition and subtraction. Okay. Then we're going to have, when you're done with that, then that's all of our number-based stuff. So we have a quiz here. Take it as many times as you want. Okay. Then we've had, so how many, what do we got due June 12th? So this looks like more than it is. Trust me, 4 homeworks and 2 quizzes before test 1. Okay. Test 1 also due June 12th. So we don't have a way to proctor this semester, so you're on the honor system. That's why it's open book and open notes. Once you open it, you do get 85 minutes for the test. I think for the quizzes, I don't think there is a limit for the quizzes. You can do that as long as you want. But for the test, it's 85 minutes. And it's due the night of June 12th, like at 11:59 p.m. All right, let me see what else I want to definitely cover. That's a lot of stuff to throw. You just get in here and start poking around. You can't break anything. Deadlines. I think that's all I really wanted to definitely cover. What questions do you guys have, if any? Any? So far I've gotten about 5 people. I don't think anybody's actually done all 4 attendance requirements yet, but we got a few people who are close. So I've got 4 or 5 people signed up in my math lab. A few have sent me an email already, done the little introduction. Oh, let me show you the introduction. So screen share one last time. Oops. So in NS Online, here we go. Back to like our course homepage. Okay. So under communication, there's place for discussions here. Okay. So one thing I want for sure out of you is a little introduction about yourself. Does not have to be much. Don't share anything you're not comfortable with. Okay. Okay. We also have places in here where you can ask questions and myself or other students can kind of help you out. It's been my experience that in math classes, there's not a whole lot of discussion that goes on, but sometimes people come up with useful tips, especially like regarding getting a calculator to do something for you in a nice way or something. So we have stuff here if you want to do it, but the one thing I definitely want out of you is a little introduction down here about yourself. Okay. And when you're done reading everything, and by everything, I mean over here in the content. Okay. So kind of administratively read through the syllabus info. So you'll have syllabus, weekly schedule. Okay. Getting started. I'll be honest with you, there's not a whole lot in there. I would look through like where to begin probably. The rest of it's kind of like required technical skills. If you're Zooming with me now, you've already surpassed those, but you should probably look at them. And make sure you get the attendance requirements and the instructions. Okay. So get in on us online, poke around, see what's available, post a discussion for yourself. If you want to print out like that weekly schedule or something, feel free to do so. Again, the content region and the front page where I stick news items are kind of where most of the useful stuff is going to be. But I will keep grades under here. I will check the discussion groups. Okay. You're also just, obviously welcome to send me an email if you have a question. You don't want to use discussion group, that's fine. And the only other thing I think in here is do that little student info quiz that takes about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, just to prove that you're serious, I guess. I don't know what it is. Okay. So questions for you guys or from you guys? Anything? So the only thing that's actually required is do those 4 attendance requirement things, and I will put you down as saying, yes, this person has come to class. Okay. So those 4 things are sign up for my math lab, post an introduction about yourself in here, send me the email, and what was the 4th thing? 1, 2, 3. Oh, hang on, I got it here. Student info quiz, discussion, my math lab, sign up and email me. So maybe it's the info quiz. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to have office hours, probably like 2 hours a day, either Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday, in which case I will just be here working on things. And if you want to come see me or have a question, you're welcome to do this. It'll be the same Zoom meeting info will work. Right? That's like my personal meeting room. Just remember that password or write it down. That password is just my office number on campus. So short and sweet. Okay. So you might also want to print off these summary sheets I'm going to be posting on about a weekly basis as we go through the topics. Okay. Again, just high level summary. So maybe print those off. Probably should print off the syllabus and maybe like your schedule and deadlines. And other than that, get in my math lab and start doing some homework. Oops. Any questions from you? I know it's a lot to throw at you. Basically, it's stuff in two places. The NS Online is kind of where the administrative stuff goes, and is where we're going to keep your grades and things like that. It's also where I'm providing some information. The My Math Lab is where you actually kind of learn the math. You do the homework, do the quizzes and the tests. Get in both those places, poke around, see what's available. Lots of stuff up there if you want it. Everybody learns a little differently. If you like the videos, we have those. If you like reading stuff, we have that. If you want to talk to me, I'll be here during some office hours. Okay. Oh, so the other thing is I will, I'm recording this. So for those people who did not make it, or if you just want to review this for whatever reason, I will, I'll probably post these on YouTube, but make them private because your names are on them. I don't feel like comfortable sharing them with the world. YouTube works nicely. So what I will do somewhere here is I will keep like a list of the video URLs of the stuff that I post on YouTube. If I do something useful during an office hour that more than one person might be interested in, like actually mathematically, I'll try to record it and then put it up in a video and give you guys a link to that as well. Again, the only thing that's not optional is doing your homework, quizzes, and tests. Okay. Seeing my lovely face or talking to me, completely optional. Terry Williams Jr., do we have to pay for my math lab? Oh, sorry, different. I'll talk to Terry here in a second. Okay. But yeah, my math lab basically replaces buying a book. Okay. Starting in the fall, actually, they're going to roll it all into one student fee. And I mean, if you are on financial aid, it's like considered a book and it should cover my math lab. Okay. In the fall, it's just going to kind of happen invisibly, but I don't think we're there yet. But again, you get 2 weeks for free. If you're not sure that you're going to be able to stick this out, or you know, if you're worried your schedule is going to change, so there's no reason not to take the 2 free weeks and get started. What else? Okay, Brian, I think I answered yours. We have 4 tests or 4 modules with a test at each one, plus the final exam at the end. Okay, and again, if your final exam is better than your lowest test, and that includes if you completely miss a test and get a 0 on it, your final exam score will replace that. So the purpose for that scheme originally was, you know, life happens. If you just completely miss a test, you don't have to worry about it. It's not catastrophic. Your final will simply replace it. Okay. Don't miss 2 because then things get a little weird. But 1 test, missing it, not a problem. The office hours I will probably put as a news item right here that I was showing you in NS Online. And I'll probably even send out an email. Okay. Eventually, I kind of settle into just posting things on NS Online, but initially, while we're kind of still new with this, I will email and post things. If I do something stupid, well, sorry, when I do something stupid, forget to post things, stuff like that, you know, somebody would usually be good enough to send me an email. that enough to get you started? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. I'm going to sit down and probably tonight, I've been thinking about the office hours, so I will post them. If, I'm going to stagger them so they're like a little different time every day, so people, so no one person gets completely, screwed out of office hours because their work schedule or something. Again, they are optional. If you can't make them or you just don't want to make them, you'd rather email me, that's fine as well. So the only stuff you got to do is learn some math. Homework, quizzes, and tests. Everything else is gravy. Okay. Alrighty. If there's nothing else, I'll let you guys go. You know how to find me, email or here. Okay. Good luck to y'all. Look forward to working with you. Let's see some introductions. Pictures
Thank
of dogs if you have them or whatever pet you have. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.